Senator Richard Burr, North Carolina Republican, under the Stock Act of 2012 that he opposed, that prohibited members of Congress and congressional staff from using non-public information, insider trading information, in securities trading. And also opposed the Disclose Act, which would require political ads to include information on who funded those ads, so we could know whether or not we're dealing with Antifa. Was implicated in the 2020 May congressional insider trading scandal, and is the only one who wasn't immediately cleared after it was done being investigated. So, Trump lost for the 53rd time, depending on how you look at it this week. So, now the posting is the FBI made Dianne Feinstein turn over documents from her husband, who is Richard C. Bloom, on stock trading as of today, because it's totally recent. As of January 17th, 2021. Now, I'm checking my time and date stamp to make sure it wasn't messed with. Yeah. Congressional insider trading scandal, as if it just happened. Conservatives recycled the story along with Sacha Stone, which is some rando on Twitter I found posting this as well. He seems to be wanting to promote it. Let's review. At the start of the COVID-19 pandemic in the United States, just before the coronavirus correction, as is listed on a couple of articles and also on Wikipedia, February 20th, multiple members of the Senate sold stock using knowledge from closed Senate meetings or the stock was sold on their behalf by trading companies, mutual stock companies, stock trading companies, stock traders, stock advisors, H&R Block, whatever, on a regular schedule due to the end of the period of time seen traditionally as being cold flu season, if you wanted to connect it that way. But mostly, these were selling stocks and buying stocks that would be useful if you knew about the coronavirus having a major financial effect. Now, in order to prove this, you actually have to find evidence of this information being presented to them, and then them buying and selling stocks that looks unusual compared to the previous year. That is the standard by which you would do this sort of test. Not that February 20th of 2020, anybody could see the writing on the wall from watching something horrible happening in Asia. You see, that is actually a very high bar for proof. But that was the accusation and assumption, and probably correct, but anyway, March 30th, the DOJ initiated a Stock Act probe into all Senate insider trading, or trading in general. Now, May 14th, Dianne Feinstein spoke to the FBI about her husband's stock trades, and on the same day, with the same report, gave FBI her husband's documents concerning stocks, and he's named Richard C. Bloom. On the 26th, X number of days later, they ended investigation into Richard C. Bloom stock trading activity, which was the only thing that was being investigated. And also, Dianne Feinstein was cleared by the Justice Department of any involvement with this, or even being involved in being able to affect it. Much criticism had happened for Dianne Feinstein and other people who had spouses or relatives that did some sort of trading or something else while they were on committees with secret information. See also Donald Trump's entire family profiteering, but let's continue. On the same day they ended the investigation into her and her husband, the Justice Department ended the insider trading investigations of both of them collectively and ended the probe for all senators. Everybody was cleared because they couldn't find any connection that would indicate that they actually really did use insider information. One of them that was quoted, by the way, a lot of Republicans were dragged into this. One of them that was quoted was because it was scheduled and timed sales and buys that are considered tactically advantageous during the year. And it's a mishmash. Each of them had different patterns of behavior. Also, one of them just flat out said, I didn't do that because I didn't believe what I was told in the meeting. He didn't believe coronavirus was doing anything. No, no, no. Let's talk about people, including myself, deciding that no, this isn't going to hurt anybody. In the beginning, I really didn't think, I was in denial. And then it freaking hit the fan. We were seeing it hit the fan progressively. I still have a video. I haven't taken it down. I just put it at the top. Correction. I was wrong. But they ended a probe for all senators, except for issuing and acknowledging search warrants served for one Senator Richard Burr of North Carolina, a Republican. The only one left over under the Stock Act of 2012 that he opposed, which would prohibit him and other members of Congress and congressional staff from using this secret type information in securities and trading. Very strongly. He also opposed the Disclosure Act, again, I'm repeating myself, which required political ads to include information on who funded the ad so you'd know if it was, a fake ad. Follow the money. He didn't want you to do that. He's the only one out of the whole bunch that got caught doing anything worth giving out, a little extra treatment after they'd finished. Oh, we finished the probe of all people in the House, Senate, whatever, except one fucker. But it wasn't Dianne Feinstein. 2021, let's review. Trump has been fired by the Electoral College by repeatedly bringing it into court or having people do it on his behalf. Yes, he was directly involved. Just shut the fuck up. For 50 some odd times. A coup d'etat, which he deliberately initiated with Giuliani and a bunch of other people standing up, trying to rile them up to do it. A not-so-secret set of text messages. Yes, this is also dug up. This is the umpteenth time this week. We're finding out so much collusion, including individuals inside the building helping them. People giving tours in the days before this. The umpteenth time he has failed to win. Just did a video about the QAnon group, treating him as literally the second coming of Christ instead of the Antichrist. Along with the apocalyptic bullshit and the memes. So after all of this and a bucket more crap I haven't looked up today that probably hit the fan, someone decided to post a story about Feinstein being the only one out of the bunch, had to be a Democrat, that's being arrested for collusion with China, or the Orient in general, or some other made-up shit. Manchurian Candidate memes being put up. Her being shown in orange. This is like saying Hillary Clinton was wearing an ankle bracelet, or an ankle tracking device. And that they're all guilty, but they're all secretly convicted, but they keep running around doing what they do anyway. Well, they're under house arrest, but they're out and about. If you need to tuck yourself in at night under a mound of horse hockey, that's fine. If you need buffalo chips to keep you warm, instead of cutting open a tauntaun, I understand. No, I don't. You're supposed to burn the chips, not supposed to lay in the shit. So anyway, if you're going to use dung, use it right. The 2020 May congressional insider trading scandal resulted in a person being brought before and is still being investigated probably to this day, and it was a Republican. And it just ended up being him. Most of the people were probably cleared because they might have been guilty, or they might have let it influence what they did, but the majority of them probably were able to show, this is the way I traded last year. Most of these people, whether they're liberals or conservatives, are very conservative with money. You tell the people who know what they're doing to do their job. That means stock trades are done on your behalf. It's supposed to be you doing it, but it is done with a stock portfolio manager guy who does it on your behalf. They get on the phone and have to talk random shit with you for a couple of minutes so that it's a friendly phone call and then they actually talk business. All as if this just happened. To deflect from some news story somewhere. This is being promoted on the Donald.win, they're all pro-Trump websites. Now, this is how you know this is horseshit. And also, I'm going to say something. I'm tired of dealing with CNN constantly playing back as if it's new breaking news, something we've heard and seen repeatedly. That's browbeating us. Fox News is doing the opposite. They're avoiding the subject matter entirely of an actual, honest to fucking God coup d'etat. No, No, Obama did not declare martial law and fuck you out of anything. No, talking constantly. I heard somebody at the store up the street here talking about how Biden's going to take your guns. Nobody's taking your guns and nobody will. This has been predicted so long, no one listens to you anymore. Crying wolf for 8 years or more doesn't give you any validity. Yes, individual states passed all sorts of draconian rules I object to. The federal government lets the ATF pick and choose whether or not an arm brace is legal or not and change their mind, causing thousands or millions of people to become felons overnight for no good fucking reason. Okay? Canada does the same thing. But they do it on a national level. We just have one bureaucratic horse shit pile, ATF, and once in a while state activities. But the presidents don't normally do this. Bump stocks were taken away by Donald Trump. All of you guys just shut the fuck up about it, apparently. As soon as a Democrat opens their fucking mouth, you scream gun control's on its way and start buying up ammo, driving the price up, and making those greedy fuckers selling the ammo and the guns very happy instead of learning to make, keep, and bear arms and shut up about it. It's not a political statement. If you need it to protect your family, shut up and don't tell people you have it. Just make sure your building is secure and use it only if you have to. Go plinking if you want to. Stop being a fucking activist that doesn't solve anything. Become active. All of this memeing and bullshit accomplishes nothing. But again, if you tuck yourself in at night with in a mound of literal cow shit every night, yes, you'll be warmer, but you still stink. The title of the pages will say, FBI moves on corrupt Democratic senator or Dem senator Dianne Feinstein, orders her to hand over documents on her husband's stock trades. Actual reality was, this is an extremely old story. She volunteered the information along with her husband to get it over with. The only person who had to have any kind of, writ or anything done, any kind of anything else done to him, is an insider trader that was a Republican, and he has warrants against him, several. So let's deflect. Maybe he came up on the news radar and people had to deflect, using the same subject matter but putting in a Democrat's name. This is transparent. Now, why am I covering this? This is like 4 pages on the entire internet covering it. Because it's an example of the deflection behavior. I mean, this is not going to get a bunch of views. Nobody's going to give a shit about this video if you're watching. How to detect projection and deflection. When someone insists on taking the same story about the person that's negative, about someone you like, and making it about somebody else because they can dig it up from, in the case that we're talking about, they dug up stories from about 5 to 10 years ago about Feinstein and other people and threw it all together and threw in a little Pizzagate bullshit on the top. Like a cherry on top of a turd. So that it would get search engine ranking. So now this video gets created to counteract it a little bit. At the top, from the top. No, not recently, and not the way you were told. None of that happened. And you can easily check it. This is what isn't even discussed. And nobody discusses the actual person who was found to be at least more suspicious. Probably still under investigation, but I don't know. You can look it up. Richard Burr, insider trading allegations, and the outcome. The outcome takes years if they're doing it right. Everybody else was cleared rapidly. Well, it's because they're Democrats, deep state, frogs gay. No, they went after Republicans and Democrats equally because, hint, 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 all of them have investment portfolios and stuff. That's how they hide their money and do tax shelters. They're politicians. They're dishonest, freaking lawyer-based bastards, all of them. But in this case, Feinstein isn't guilty, and in every other case, nobody could find any real dirt on him. Meanwhile, this guy was apparently hiding it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. Sorry for wasting your time, and I'm sorry I wasted mine.